think for our next fundraiser, we'll offer personal air conditioners for sale. I know people that have them and love them.
הנה מתו מנעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מתו מנעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מתו שבת אחים.
It's on page 4 if you want the words.
הנה מתו שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מתו מנעים שבת אחים גם יחד הנה מתו מנעים שבת אחים גם יחד.
Welcome, everybody, to Jewish Gateways Erev Rosh Hashanah Eve of the Jewish New Year service. I see some of you all fanning away. If it feels better to be closer to this fan right here or to be outside, be wherever you'd like to be. There's some people told me it's cooler outside. I have no idea. Just
Maybe
make
I'll
yourself
bring
comfortable.
my friend from home tomorrow. It does the oscillating, the back and forth thing.
So I'm Rabbi Bridget Wynne. This is Rabbi Steph Kennedy. This is our musician, Joel Siegel. And Jewish Gateways is an open Jewish community. Everyone is welcome here. And we're glad that you're here this evening. And I'm also glad that there are people joining us online. So hello to everybody who is participating via Zoom, whether here or elsewhere in our country. In just a moment, we're going to be meeting other people nearby us. And before we do that, I want to acknowledge that this is a really difficult time in our world. The news is scary, and I think it's especially important right now when things feel so unsure what's going on here in our country over the next couple months, what's going on in the Middle East, and who knows what else, but those seem to be the biggest concerns for many people right now. I think it's really important to be kind to one another, be compassionate, reach out to people who might be feeling like they need some support, accept support. Remember that even if we all have different opinions of various sorts, I know we all want the best for people. And I also want to say that even if it's frustrating to know we can't change enormous things in the world, there's usually something small we can be doing about it, so I encourage you to do that. And I also want to remind you that each of us is in our own place in the world where I am absolutely sure each of us can do things to bring greater compassion and greater justice. And those actions are also truly important. And it feels especially good, given what I was just saying, to be here as a community together today and throughout these holidays. I want to figure out a few different ways to say Happy New Year so that we can greet one another if we want to in a few different possible ways. And Shana Tova. No worries, folks. You could stand up, do whatever you need to do. Shana Tova is Hebrew. Anybody want to share a Yiddish greeting? I'm sure if somebody here knows it, just give a wave. Yeah, Dorothy? Good Yontif. Great. Which means a good holiday. We often have people here with Bulgarian, Ukrainian, Spanish, French, Japanese. Anybody feel like just waving a hand and sharing another greeting? I mean, there's Jewish communities all over the world. What's that? Oh, anybody here? Yeah. Yeah. Feliz Ano Novo. It's hard not to say the Spanish. I'm sure you understand. Great. So Portuguese. Anybody else? Nancy? Rick?
Benito.
Is that? Benito Kozaimas. Oh, Benito Kozaimas. Thank you, Rick. Great. And there's also Happy New Year or Happy Holiday. Anybody else here? Yeah, in the back row. And that is what language? Chinese. Wow. Can you yell it out one more time, Rachel? Thank you. I'm not going to try to repeat you, but thank you. Yeah, well, that's nothing I'm going to aim for tonight. So I'd like to invite you now. Think about what greeting you'd like to share. Happy New Year is totally fine. And invite you to find someone near you you do not yet know. Just share your name, say whatever you'd like to about what brought you here, or share some greetings for the new year, and we'll come back together in a few minutes. Let's come back together. And for those people here who would enjoy chatting, which I get the sense there are some folks here who enjoy chatting, we have a chat and eat event coming up very soon. After services tonight, everyone who'd like to is invited to head over to Saul's Deli, which is about a block that way, turn right, and then another part of a block. Anyone who wants to can hang out, get a snack, get a drink, and continue chatting or find someone else new to chat with. So I'm going to make a few logistical announcements, and then we're going to move into our service. If you're looking for the restroom, there's one right out there in the lobby. And there's also, if you head down the hallway towards what you could consider the backyard, there's a restroom, two restrooms on your left, back that way. The nearest exit is the door, front door, where you entered. If you have any needs related to the facility, please see one of our event coordinators. Their names are April, Zach, and Alice. And they should have name tags on. And if you can't find one of them, you could ask if anyone has seen Zach or Alice or April, because they are all three moving around here. And I also want to encourage you, if you have any questions about Jewish Gateways, to speak to one of our board members. They're all wearing name tags. Yes, there we go, there we go. They're all wearing name tags, there we go, that say that they're part of the board of directors, and they'd be glad to help you with anything you would like to know about. Please turn off your cell phones. The cell phone can interfere with the streaming of the services. We're streaming live on Zoom, and we want to make sure that the signal stays strong for everyone who's participating that way. Finally, please keep your wristband on. This is the way we know that you've checked in, and this way you can just come and go without having to concern yourself about checking in again. We're now going to move more directly into some of the music of the high holidays. There are a few high holiday melodies that for those who've experienced them before may help you sort of enter into that high holiday mood and mode. I know music can be very evocative and a way to know we're here. It's the new year.
It is indeed music we come home to every year. Before we begin the music proper, I just want to say a brief word of deep, heartfelt gratitude from the Kishkas to, you know where the Kishkas are, okay, good. For those of you, and I'm sure there are many, except for the folks who are joining us for the first time this year, the prayers you offered up for me, I was not able to be here last year. I was just on Rosh Hashanah, actually Rosh Hashanah Eve, I moved from my hospital room to the rehab center where I spent the next month learning to stand and walk again, which was a beautiful place and is unfortunately now closed. I know that many people in Jewish Gateways were offering prayers for me. I watched you on Zoom last year. I tuned in from my rehab room, and I am so grateful to be back on my feet and back in my voice, and grateful to each and every one of you. Whatever you sent, whatever you offered, I felt it, and I deeply appreciate it. Thank you.
Wonderful to have you back, Joel, and I see some folks doing like this, which is like a way of appreciating without breaking our service mood.
Yeah, I am wearing an eye patch. This has nothing to do with that illness last year. It was radiation treatment, and it leaves the eye very sensitive to glare. We have some very bright spotlights on us, so this lets me look at you. So here is that first tune of home, that first melody from Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, which sing along as soon as you catch the tune. You probably remember it. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, lie, la, 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 lie. Lie, 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 la, 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 lie. Lie, 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 la, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. And then we pick and choose bits and pieces and snippets from that, depending on whether we're singing a short text or a long text or anything like that. So it might be as short as la 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 la. La 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 la, and a whole bunch of them in between also. But that's the shortest and the longest.
We're about to use that melody now, more longish kind of one, as we light our holiday candles.
Yes, this will be the long one.
Long one. Okay. So I want to invite you to turn in your prayer books to page 4. And I want to invite up Marion and Craig, who are going to light our candles tonight. And they're going to read for us first the kavanah, or intention, right before the candle lighting blessing.
I enter these high holidays, these days of awe, asking myself, where am I in my life? As I approach this time of self-examination and questioning, I pray for the strength to face myself and the faith to believe that is within my power to change and to grow.
Joel is going to lead us now in the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Yom Tov.
And now we're going to continue on that same page at the bottom with the Shechianu blessing, again in the High Holiday melody. This is the blessing that says we made it to this time. It's a blessing for first times, and this is our first time gathering for the year 5785. So it's both here we are, let's pay attention and celebrate, and it's we made it.
Yeah, and I'm going to make this an extra special Shechianu for myself for being back with you all. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kiyemanu v'higianu Lazaman hazeh.
We'll continue on page 7 with Hashivenu. So much of our Rosh Hashanah symbolism is round, embodying the cyclical shape of the Jewish calendar. We take comfort in the predictability of the calendar, the return of fall, the return of a new year. Yet every Rosh Hashanah is different because we are different. Are we who we want to be? Have we acted as we want to act? In the comfort and predictability of the new year, returning once more, Hashivenu is a vulnerable and humble declaration that we are willing to start over and try once more to be our best selves.
At the top of the page. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again, return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Continuing on the next part. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, Venashuva, Venashuva, Chadesh, Chadesh, Yameinu Kekedem Hashivenu, 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 Adonai Elecha, Venashuva, Venashuva, Kadesh, Kadesh, Yameinu Kekedem, Kadesh, Kadesh, Yameinu Kekedem.
Now is the time for turning. To everything there is a season, an appointed time for every purpose under heaven. Now is the time for turning. The leaves are beginning to turn from green to red and orange. The birds are beginning to turn and are flying once more towards the south. The animals are beginning to turn to storing their food for the winter. For leaves, birds, and animals, turning comes instinctively. But for us, turning does not come so easily. It takes an act of will for us to make a turn. It means breaking with old habits. It means admitting that we have been wrong, and this is rarely easy. It means losing face. It means starting all over again, and this is always painful. It means saying, I am sorry. It means recognizing that we have the ability to change, and this can be embarrassing. These things are terribly hard to do, but unless we turn, we will be trapped forever in yesterday's ways. Therefore, may we find the strength to turn from callousness to sensitivity, from hostility to love, from pettiness to purpose, from envy to contentment, from carelessness to discipline, from fear to trust. May we turn ourselves around and towards all that is noble, true, and life-affirming, to revive our lives as at the beginning. Then may we turn to one another, for in isolation there is no life.
We'll turn now to page 11. It says at the top, Baruch Hu, bless. This is the point in the service in which we invite everybody to join together in calling out a blessing. Blessed is the infinite, now and forever. And to do that, we're going to begin with Joel leading us in singing Kavanah, or intention number 1. Then he is going to chant the first line below that in Hebrew, and we will all respond to him. So for those who can do, please rise.
We sometimes say, rise in body or spirit. Baruch Hu, dear one, and you can sing back like Baruch Hu, if you want, with me or after me. Baruch Hu, dear one, Shekhinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Shekhinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Baruch Hu, dear one, Shekhinah, holy name. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. When I call on the light of my soul, I come home. Yai, la, 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 ya, la, 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 ya, la, 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 ya, la, 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 Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, and together.
Now, everyone.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam vaed.
Please be seated. I know it can be confusing why people are bowing at certain times and standing up at certain times and all of that. I'm not going to comment on it frequently because it could get a little annoying. But this time I want to say that bowing there has a variety of ways you could interpret it. One that I heard from a teacher named Joe Milgram that I really like is, I'm bowing as I bless to remind myself that I am not the center of the universe. I'm going to continue now at the bottom of page 11. And for those of us who are outdoors, you are outdoors, which is what this prayer speaks about in particular. For those of us who are not, we can still look around and feel the air and experience whatever connections we have had to the outdoors. Master of the universe, grant me the ability to be alone. May it be my custom to go outdoors each day, among the trees and grass, among all growing things. And there may I be alone and enter into prayer, to talk with the one to whom I belong. May I express there everything in my heart, and may all the growing things of the field awake at my coming. To send the power of their life into the words of my prayer, so that my prayer and speech are made whole through the life and spirit of growing things which are made as one by their source. May they all be gathered into my prayer, and thus may I be worthy to open my heart in prayer, that I pour out like water the words of my heart before you. On page 13, in a moment we are going to chant together the Shema, which is the 2 Hebrew lines towards the top of the page. And first, Joel is going to lead us in a song to help us prepare.
It's right at the top of the page. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one, and we will know that you are one.
Some people have the tradition to rise for the Shema. If you'd like to do that, feel free. And another tradition is to cover one's eyes to help yourself focus. So feel free to follow either or both of those traditions.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
The V'ahavta prayer is a continuation from the Shema and asks us to love. The ancient language of the V'ahavta comes directly from the Torah, and in it we encounter a surprisingly contemporary conception of love. It is love that is not just a feeling, but a thing we do. Love is an action. The V'ahavta instructs us on the ways to love, to aspire to a world where we enact love as we wake up, as we go to work, as we respond to emails and do laundry, and go to bed. It is a life lived this way and a world loved this way that we desire as we read the V'ahavta. Please join me in the English. You shall love the Creator, dedicating your heart, soul, and energy. Let these teachings connect you today to your heart. Bring them to your in interactions with your children. Exemplify in all you do as you rest, travel, dream, and wake. Create sacred rituals to remind you daily to act in ways that are true to your deepest self. Place reminders on the entrances of your homes that you may help to fill them with God's presence. We continue with the Mechamocha on page 15. The ancient song of Mechamocha comes also from the Torah, directly from the Torah, sung by the Israelites as they leave slavery. As they cross the sea, having just barely survived, they are finally free of the danger in Egypt, entering the expanse of freedom, emerging from the narrow place. This song is their sigh of relief. As we sing Mechamocha, I invite you to take a deep breath, a breath of gratitude, recognizing your freedom to be here and to be fully present in this moment.
Speaking of being present in this moment, thank you. That was my cue. Yam bam bam bim bidi bye, yabba bye bye bim bam. Yam bye bye bim bidi bye, yabba bye bye bim bam. Ay 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 ay, yabba bye bye bim bam. Ay 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 ay, yabba bye bye bim bam. Mi chamocha, bailim Adonai. Mi chamocha, nedar bakodesh. Tehilot osefele Adonai yimloch leholam va'ed.
The Hashkivenu prayer, which follows right after the Mechamocha, is a prayer about helping us to rest tonight and to arise again tomorrow refreshed. It asks that we have over us a Sukkot Shlomecha. You may recognize the word Sukkot, which sounds like the word Sukkah. That's the next Jewish holiday and will be, for those who observe it, being under huts that shelter us. And you may recognize in Shlomecha the word Shalom. So we're asking in a metaphorical sense to be sheltered by a structure of peace. And that structure of peace might be one that we build for ourselves, that we build with our community, that we build through rest or through song. And so hoping to rest this evening and wake up to the first day of our new year renewed, let us sing together at the bottom of page 15.
Ufros aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shalomecha, Ufros aleinu Sukkot, Sukkot, Shalomecha, Yalai, Lalai, Yalai, Lalai, Yalai, Yalai, Lalai, Lalai, Yalai, Lalai, Yalai, Lalai, Yalai, Lalai, Lalai, Yalai, Lalai, Yalai, Lalai,
Yalai la 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 lai. Yalai la lai. Yalai la lai. Yalai la 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 lai. Ufros aleinu sukat. Sukat. Shelomecha.
The Jewish prayer service is a journey. We are building towards this moment, preparing our hearts for the Amidah, the standing silent prayer, which is the peak of our service. It's an opportunity to share your deepest prayer. Whatever you say it with intention. What do you need to express this year? What do you need to say to the source of life? If you are able, I encourage you to stand, either in your own private prayer or to read the words on page 19. Once you have completed your prayer, please sit. That was page 19.
If you're still in the middle of your prayer, please take your time. You don't need to sit down. Take as long as you like. We are on the bottom of page 24. Ose shalom imroma hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Imru Amen Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Yaseh Shalom Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Ha'olam. Added a couple words in there. Ve'al Kol Yisrael means may peace come down on all Israel. Al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, same thing for all who dwell on earth. And Ve'al Kol Ha'olam, on all the world. We need it badly.
Amen. My grandmother lived a remarkable 100 years. And when she passed away alone in London at the height of COVID, it left a profound absence in our life. She had an extended family, a large extended family that would have surrounded her at the end of her life. But COVID interrupted us. We couldn't be there by her side, and we couldn't come together to bury her. In the later years of her life, she wrote a memoir called Why Is My Glass Always Half Empty? A title that was both humorous and revealing. My grandmother was a realist, someone deeply aware of life's pain and struggle, and her words often reflected a certain pessimism. And here today, in the middle of our Rosh Hashanah services, with prayers filled with vulnerability and loss, I understand, perhaps more than ever, how easy it is to see the world through that lens, a glass that feels more half empty than half full. However, as I reflect upon my grandmother and her life and our traditions, I've come to see her perspective a little differently. Perhaps her glass half empty view was not about pessimism or even despair. It was a desperate desire for fullness and wholeness, a longing for hope in a world that often feels too broken, too hard, too painful. Sometimes what sounds like pessimism is the cry of a heart longing for healing, a recognition that things are not as they should be, a yearning for something better. As we each stand at the gates, preparing to enter the new year, the year 5785, many of us find ourselves experiencing that same feeling. Being Jewish at the moment carries a heaviness. The heartbreak and horror of October 7th, fear, grief, and anger over the war in Gaza that is rapidly spreading, anguish over hostages still being held, the rise of anti-Semitism, and deepening divisions within our own Jewish community, ethical compasses misaligned. These challenges bring new fears about expressing our Jewish identity and deepen the pain we carry. We're living in a time when the glass feels undeniably half empty and the future feels uncertain. And yet, here's the paradox. The very act of acknowledging that the glass is half empty is a yearning for it to be filled. It is a call to resist despair and a refusal to be defined by brokenness. I know that many of us are feeling disorientation, isolation, and heartbreak. It's important to name these feelings, to allow them space, let them breathe. Our tradition teaches us to navigate loss and grief through Shiva, the 7-day mourning period that creates space for both pain and communal support. For my grandmother, Shiva was on Zoom, a far cry from the touch and the presence of our rituals. It wasn't how we imagined saying goodbye, but it was how we found each other, holding on to connection across screens and time zones. There's something deeply profound to me about this, that even when the traditional ways of coming together are shattered, we still find a way. We find a way to bind ourselves to one another, to share in our brokenness, and to make space for each other's pain. The Talmud describes how, upon arriving at the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, visitors would enter in the right, walk around, and exit through the left. But mourners had a separate gate. They would enter through the left and walk right. And when you passed somebody walking the mourner's path, you had to greet them and offer them words of comfort. Our tradition constructed into the very structure of our buildings a reminder not to turn away from one another's pain. The ancient rabbis remind us to see it, name it, and offer comfort. This idea, Kol Yisrael Aravim Zeh Bazeh, we are all responsible for one another, is at the heart of our tradition. And the word Aravim here means more than just responsible. At its root, it implies being intertwined, mixed together. We are entangled in one another's lives and stories. We come together and dwell in the same buildings. Through both joy and pain, in a world that often feels like it's unraveling, our task is to remember that each of our lives is deeply bound to the others. Our lives are intertwined. Just as we are responsible for one another, so are we responsible for finding ways to renew ourselves and our communities. On Rosh Hashanah, we reflect on themes of tshuva, renewal, and the call to repair what's broken. Rosh Hashanah reminds us of the possibility for change and growth. Perhaps this is our work this year. Possibility. hope. Courageous hope that embraces the unknown with the belief that we can bring the world, our world, closer to wholeness. And let's be honest, hope is hard. It's not easy to maintain hope when the world feels so broken. It's not easy to hope when our hearts are heavy and our spirits worn and fragile. But hope is not the same as optimism. Optimism is a feeling. Hope is a verb. It is something we do day after day, even when the glass feels empty and the path forward is unclear. Writer Rebecca Solnit reminds us, hope locates itself in the premise that we don't know what will happen and that in the spaciousness of uncertainty, there is room to act. When you recognize uncertainty, she writes, you recognize that you may be able to influence the outcomes. That's where our strength lies, in the unknown, in the possibility, in the belief that the world can change and that we can play a role in that change. Hope takes spiritual courage to act, to transform. It's about seeing the glass as half empty and choosing to start filling it up. Hope is an active process. As Rav Kook wrote, the yearning of the soul for a greater world is what makes the world great. Kol Yisrael aravim zeh bazeh. We are all responsible for one another. And our soul's yearning for a better world helps make that possible. In Hebrew, hope is tikva. It comes from a root that means to gather, to bind, like a thread woven into fabric. Hope is an act that ties us together, weaving our lives like a shared tapestry. It is not a solo endeavor, it is communal. When I think of my grandmother and how our family found new ways to grieve and connect, I see that even when the world feels shattered, we can still find one another. Hope is not about waiting for the glass to fill itself. It's about choosing to pour into it again and again. After a year marked by profound loss, grief, fear, and uncertainty, hope has become my antidote. Because hope is the first action we must take before anything else can be achieved. In the face of grief and fear, resisting despair is the first thing we can do, and sometimes the only thing we can do. Hope is a commitment to possibility. It is what allows us to imagine a new and different future. And hope, tikva, this small, gathered thread, sometimes thin and tenuous, keeps us holding on and keeps us bound together. This year, may we not only feel but live the deep roots of hope in our tradition. Roots that, even when the future is scary or uncertain, grow ever stronger and find new sources of life and nourishment. Let our prayers flow like water, nurturing new possibilities. As intertwined roots, aravim, bound together in care and responsibility. May we be bold in our hope, relentless in our compassion, and unwavering in our commitment to one another. Shana Tova, a sweet and hopeful year to you all.
Yesher koach, if you heard some people say that, it's a way of saying right on. Yesher koach. Joel is going to sing to us right now. Words aren't in your prayer book, so just listen. A song
Because we just decided to do it.
right, that we just felt was inspired by Rabbi Steph's lovely drosh, or sermon. Drosh means her commentary. This is a song reminding us that we have a voice. And Rabbi Steph just reminded us that we can come together, we can bring hope to ourselves and to one another, and one of the ways that that might affect us is to be able to raise our voices.
Choosing to pour into the glass again and again is a message I really needed to hear this year. Thank you. I will voice what I think I'm not alone in feeling. which is just the emotional exhaustion of this year. It's okay to feel it. I think many of us do. We've been buffeted and battered by events. I don't need to recount them here. But hard as it might be, let's fill that glass up once again. I'm not going to sing the whole song because I don't remember the whole song and I don't have the words. But the message is important. We may bring it back on Yom Kippur. It's a song by Ilana Aryan called I Have a Voice. I used to remember the first verse, and all of a sudden, well, that's the chorus. Okay, I'll start with the chorus. Why not? Maybe the verse will come to me. It was there 30 seconds ago. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. Let's sing it. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. Change the world. I literally it just escaped my mind. Okay, I'm gonna just give it a shot here. And this part is responsive. Just sing it right back to me. I'm not gonna. I will open my eyes. I will not look away. I will use this gift I've been given every day. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. Change the world. I will reach up my hand. I'll stand up for what's right. I will use this gift I've been given to be a light. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. Change the world. This is a bracha special to this song. Actually, no, we also say it in the morning. Blessed are you, God, creator of the universe, who has made me in your image, who has made me in the image of God, and able to act in the world to repair it. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam v'shasanu she'asanu b'tselem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asanu b'tselem Elohim. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. Change the world. My voice can change the world. Let's go out there and make a little.
Right on, Joel. And community.
Amen. Fill that glass.
In a moment, we'll invite Kelly Burkett up to open the ark. And as the ark is opened, I invite all who are able to rise in body or spirit.
And what page are we on?
Kelly can come up now.
Well, we're not on page yet.
But we soon will be on the bottom of page 29
Yeah.
if you want to get yourself ready. All right. Please, all who are able, rise.
Can you show her how? So as we said just a moment ago, we are on page 29. We're coming to the Avinu Malkeinu. It's another opportunity to raise our voices. A prayer asking to find the humility, the grace, to receive the grace, to act with our freedom to make things better in this new year. Before we sing, we're going to read a bit. And by the way, we open the ark because it's a time of special, intense song and prayer. At the bottom of page 29, I'm going to read the first paragraph, and I invite you to read the second paragraph back to me. Raising our voices. Our Father, our King, teach us how to make this year a new beginning. Our Mother, our Queen, teach us how to grow from the harshness of life. Our source and our destiny, teach us to accept what we are powerless to change. Our guide and our truth, teach us to change what must be changed. Together? Our Father, our King, teach us how to face disease and death. Our Mother, our Queen, teach us how to enjoy the gifts of life. Our source and our destiny, teach us how to make peace with our enemies. Our guide and our truth, teach us how to best embrace our heritage. And now singing together in the middle of that page.
Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Malkeinu, Yemanu Masim, Aseh Imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed, Aseh tzedaka v'chesed v'hoshienu.
Sing in English, O Mother and Father.
O Mother and Father of light, please hear us and give us your grace. O light deep within us, O hear us and give us compassion and mercy and peace. O guide us through your grace, justice and mercy to all. Grant justice
This is the part where I ask my rabbi friends if there's among the many things that happened. My printer didn't print the outline before I left here. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Aneinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Aneinu, Yemanu Masim, Aseh Imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, Aseh Imanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, v'hoshineinu.
We'll continue on page 34 with Aleinu. In a moment, Joel will lead us in Aleinu. Aleinu literally means it is on us. And it's a prayer where we express the obligation that we believe we should take on. Like the language of so much of our liturgy, Aleinu reminds us that our responsibilities are communal rather than solitary. Aleinu provides an opportunity to consider what it might be like to widen our share of responsibility, embracing both the comfort and the complicated awareness that we are in this together. Please join me in the English. It is up to us to hallow creation, to respond to life with the fullness of our lives. It is up to us to meet the world, to embrace the whole, even as we wrestle with its parts. It is up to us to repair the world and to bind our lives with truth. Therefore, we bend the knee and shake off the stiffness that keeps us from the supple graces of life and the supple gestures of love. With reverence and thanksgiving, we accept our destiny and set for ourselves the task of redemption.
הקדוש ברוך הוא, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
You may be seated.
I want to share a little bit of information at this time before we move on to the Kaddish prayer and final singing together. In the way back against the wall is a sheet of heavy paper put up against the wall, and it is called our Torah of Life, Torat Chaim. It's a tradition that we carry out each year here at Jewish Gateways, the idea being that the Torah, meaning Jewish teaching, really has its purpose when it connects to our lives. So the question that I want to ask people to think about, a question for this holiday, is what have you done in the past year that you regret and want to either put behind you or change? One of the things that's helpful to do during Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is rather than just thinking about things, to actually name them. So I encourage you to write down whatever it is you want to put behind you, there are pieces of paper in front of the Torah of Life. You do not need to write your name there. Just write it down totally anonymously and stick it up on that Torah. And it really is a supportive experience to read everyone else's and say, oh my gosh, I did that one too. I didn't do that one. That's a relief. And no, as Steph just said, we're in it together. And it's a couple points in the service when we're reading out things that our tradition has passed down that we're sorry for. I'll get some of those from the Torah of Life, and we'll also connect to some of the things we're experiencing here in our community. I want to invite everyone who'd like to join us, as I mentioned earlier, at Saul's Deli. After services tonight, we'll walk that way, and that way, or if you'd like to, you can drive a little U-shape. They're on Shattuck Avenue.
If you're already parked, you're way better staying where you are.
And anyone who'd like to can have a drink, something to eat. You don't have to, but if you'd like to, and can continue whatever conversation maybe you were having with yourself during this service or with others before it. Tomorrow, following services in the morning, we will do what's called tashlich. It's a ceremony in which we toss away our regrets using pebbles or whatever else we find on the ground in a stream of water. Just like naming our regrets, tossing them away with our bodies is another way to try to say, hey, pay attention. This is your life. This is real. Make your choices. That's going to happen at Live Oak Park at 12:45, which is a few blocks that way. You are welcome to bring your lunch and enjoy a picnic afterwards. There are picnic tables there. We are also going to have bagels and spreads and drinks, so if you want to share in that picnic, you're welcome to. Services tomorrow are the following. At 9 o'clock, we will have family services. At 10:30, we will have, quote, regular or adult services, although kids are, of course, welcome. And at 10:15, we will start activities for children of all ages in the backyard. Back there, there'll be a supervised playground. There will also be an art project. Preschoolers need to have an adult with them who's responsible for them. Kids who are older than that can go out there by themselves as long as their family knows where they are. After we finish our service tonight, we're going to enjoy wine or juice, challah, and apples and honey for a sweet new year. In one of the pieces of paper you received, there's a schedule of services, so you can also refer there. Yeah, Rabbi Steph is holding it up. Finally, I want to say that we're collecting donations as we do each year for a shelter. This year, they're for the Family Transitional Housing Shelter of the Greater Richmond Interfaith Partnership, or GRIP. And there are containers in the back near the Torah of Life. Please bring the following needed items. They need school supplies, like spiral notebooks, pencils, markers, crayons, erasers, binder paper, rulers. And they also need non-perishable items, like sandwich bags, brown paper lunch bags, napkins, packaged snacks like fruit or applesauce cups, granola bars, or bags of cookies, so we can help the families who are staying in that shelter right now.
When you arrived, you may have been given one of these brochures. If you want to learn more about Jewish Gateways and the various programs and classes we offer, peruse this. It also gives you ways to connect to us. You'll find in it family events and adult programs, family programs and adult programs, including things like the adult Bar Mitzvah class. Bar Mitzvah is a gender-neutral term for bar and bat mitzvah, and that's going to be starting again, the adult Bar Mitzvah with Rabbi Bridget. With me, we've got the brand new regular bar mitzvah, 13-year-old bar mitzvah, as well as a new program that we started last year. So check that out. Inside the brochure, you may have also got this little flyer for some upcoming events, family events, and things for adults. So please have a look, join us at events in the next few weeks.
And then the last thing we want to share with you is some words from Dan Bodner, who's going to come up. Before Dan gets up here, I just want to point out that he created this ark several years ago. Yes. It was a surprise. He came to services, and I don't know, several months later, he said, "Your ark is rickety and falling apart. I made you a new one." And we were like, "What?" And here it is, years later, and we get to enjoy it every year.
Thank you. I'm always glad. That's the reason why I come to services, so I can see my handiwork. Well, I'd like to say welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining Jewish Gateways and the High Holiday services this year. I'd like to thank the rabbis, Rabbi Bridget and Rabbi Steph, and the music from Joel Siegel for the beautiful, inspiring service. And Joel, it's great to have you back and have your voice shared with us.
So good to be back.
Also, the many volunteers that have contributed in numerous ways to make the High Holidays services happen. Thank you all. And how are you all doing in the back there? Is it comfortable back there? Is it cool? It's pretty warm in here, so you may have made the right choice. If you are new to Jewish Gateways, you may have started to catch on to the vibe we have here. We are inclusive, participatory, rooted in Jewish tradition, but blending the modern with the ancient to create a Jewish experience that is relevant to our lives and our times. Perhaps most importantly, we are a caring and supportive community open to all with no expectations or judgments of one's Jewishness or learnedness. In recent years, we have grown significantly in numbers and in ways to engage. I really like the handout that was just pointed out, very colorful. As for myself, I grew up Jewish, but I never felt comfortable as an adult in temple. The services made no sense to me. It was all very medieval and did not compute with my scientific brain. I'm an atheist, for goodness sakes, so I struggled. I always left services feeling aggravated. Then a few years ago, at the suggestion of my non-Jewish partner, Anna, the beautiful Anna, we decided to check out the Jewish Gateways Rosh Hashanah service. Rabbi Bridget led a service that was full of meaning and thoughtfulness. Here was a place where I could feel Jewish and feel engaged rather than enraged. It seems I wasn't going to have to start my own Jewish sect after all. Jewish Gateways was perfect for me. Anna and I both liked the service. For sure, we could do our high holidays here. And it could satisfy her need for spirituality, and I could satisfy my need to feel Jewish. It was perfect. Here, Anna and I together could make one complete Jew. One day, Sandy Warren, who's here and the co-chair of Jewish Gateway's Board of Directors, asked me if I'd be interested in participating in the Strategic Planning Committee. Well, yes. I mean, that's something that's right up my alley. As a business owner and consultant, lo these many years, having opinions and advocating for them is something that's kind of a habit for me. So that's how I became more involved in Jewish Gateways. And that leads me to a related topic, which is more about all of us than about me. I've come to love this organization, Jewish Gateways, and I want it to be here to support and inspire us all for years to come. And that requires our financial support. You might see where this is going. It's going to a word that comes to me, tzedakah. It's a Hebrew word that describes the mitzvah or good deed of giving. But it's really different from what we think of when we think of charity. It's an act of giving wherein the donor benefits as much or more than do the recipients. In our modern hustle culture, life often revolves around acquisition and material possessions. Giving, however, is far more powerful and soul-satisfying than getting. There are studies that prove this fact. For me, this has certainly been true. It's rewarding to know that I'm doing my part to sustain and grow this community that gives me so much. There is a beautiful paradox. As we give, we also receive. We receive gratitude, we receive fulfillment, and we receive a deeper connection to those around us. And as we gather here tonight, we are receiving a wonderful gift, a gift of community. Our clergy, donors, and many volunteers have made this gathering and this community possible. Sustaining all of us through Jewish Gateways takes engagement, a curiosity to meet new people, and a desire to learn and experience personal growth. And it takes money. Tonight, I ask you to consider your part in this community, reflect not only on its meaning for you here tonight, but its potential to enrich your life in the coming year as well. And I'm going to do something unusual, and I'm going to ask you tonight to be selfish. How? How can you be selfish when I'm going to ask you for money? Well, counterintuitively, by donating to Jewish Gateways, you will feel good about yourself. You have in your handouts this little envelope, which can be filled with a check, or also there are other ways to give. You can write a check tonight if you want, and put it in this envelope and drop it off. Bring it to the donation table, or you could be mailed. You could give funds via Venmo or PayPal. You could go online to the website at jewishgateways.org and find the donate button there. I promise you this. You will feel great about it, and you will feel great about yourself. And that is the best way to be selfish. Shana Tova.
Studies have shown.
Thank you, Dan. You're going back to your other half of your Jew there. What is a Jew anyway? We're going to say the Kaddish now, our memorial or mourner's prayer. Then we are going to hear the shofar blast, and then we're going to sing together. The Kaddish is on page 35. The Hebrew is at the bottom. The transliteration is on page 36. This is a prayer to join in for remembering people who you have lost. I'm going to move across the congregation. If you would like to name a person or persons, please either stand up or give a wave, and I will come close to you so you can share that name or names.
And as Rabbi Bridget returns to the front, I will remember a dear friend to the community whom we lost this year, Rabbi Bert Jacobson, a rabbi in our community. His wife, now widow Diane Elliott, is also a rabbi in the community. And in particular, Bert gave us and the whole community so much of the English that we are reading tonight from the prayer book, including the English translation to Avinu Malkeinu that we sang. O Mother and Father of Life, and we'll be singing some more of his really meaningful, to me anyway, translations of these Hebrew texts in a way that really opens them up. So, miss you, Bert.
I invite all those whose tradition it is to rise for Kaddish Some people rise only if they're remembering someone specific. Some people rise in support of those who are mourning. I'm going to lead the Kaddish. The parts in bold are parts for everyone to say whether or not you're remembering someone specific.
Which you can hear me do. I'll be responding.
Part of the point of Kaddish is that we do our best to say it in a group, and that way we hear the responses of others. Just like what Rabbi Steph was talking about going to the temple thousands of years ago, and people being supported who are going through something difficult. And this is one other way that we do that for one another. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Balma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayachon u'v'yamachon u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael. Bagala uvizman kariv v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudasha brichu. Le'ela le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru.
Amen.
Please be seated. I now want to call up Sarah, who's right here, and Adil, who I saw back there in the courtyard, because we are about to hear the alarm clock. Maimonides, a Jewish philosopher of a couple thousand years, 1,000 years ago in Egypt. Yes, it is. Oh my God. Yeah, I know. But you know what? It's really annoying when grown-ups say, "You've grown so much." But I know you mean it in the best of ways, Joel. Yeah.
The son also have a custom to stand to hear the shofar if you want to practice.
Oh, good point. Yeah. You know, I should have said, well, whatever I should have done. It doesn't matter. Anyone who wants to stand for the shofar, please do. And what I was saying was Maimonides, a Jewish philosopher who lived in Egypt about 1,000 years ago, taught that the shofar is an alarm clock. If you're sleepwalking, wake up. Pay attention. So I'm going to make a tekio gedolah, meaning a long call to you, and then just blow away. Tekio gedolah. Time now to sing together, and Rabbi Steph is going to let us know where to go in our prayer books to do that. Please be seated. And if you too would like to blow shofar, it's something that's particularly possible for people who play a wind instrument. If you want to participate, just let me know. We always have room for more shofar blowers.
We're going to conclude tonight on page 36 with Lashana Tovah. Joel is going to lead us in song. And as we sing, Joel, Rabbi Bridget, and I will walk out first towards the back. And we invite you to follow us for blessings on juice and challah and apples and honey.
Leshana tova tikatevu, Leshana tova tikatevu, tikatevu vetekatemu, Yairarai.